We have our classic deviled egg, our deep fried bacon and chive deviled egg, and our spicy creamy crab deviled egg. Let me show you how to make this dish 3 different ways. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that button and click that bell icon. All right, I have 6 large eggs at room temperature. Bring a pot of water to a rolling boil. Now you want to take a spoon to gently lower your eggs into the water. I like to go ahead and cover it, and I'm going to turn the temperature down to medium. Now we're just going to boil this for 13 minutes. Now that our 13 minutes are up, I'm going to go ahead and fish out the eggs. Then I'm going to add the eggs to an ice bath, that way we can stop the cooking process. Now that the eggs have cooled down, I'm just going to crack them in the same ice water. I do like to tap them on the counter also. Now look how nicely that peels. Let's go ahead and cut one. Now that's a perfect hard-boiled egg. Now let's slice the rest. Now I'm going to take my egg yolks and pop them in a bowl. Now I'm just going to take a whisk just to break up the yolks. Now that I have the egg yolks crumbled up, I'm going to squeeze in some Japanese-style Kewpie mayo, along with a little bit of American-style mayo, a pinch of salt to taste, about 2 pinches of sugar, one more, about a tablespoon of good Dijon mustard, and also a little bit of my favorite hot sauce. Since I like it spicy, we're going to add a little more. And since we want to keep it creamy instead of adding relish, I'm going to add some pickle brine from this Mount Olive kosher dill pickles. I'm just going to add just a little bit. Now I'm just going to whisk this until smooth. All right, now that we whisk out the most of the noticeable lumps, I'm just going to add some very finely chopped red onion. Go ahead and whisk that in as well. Remember, this needs to be stiff enough to pipe. Now that the filling's made, I have a piping bag that I fitted with a star tip. Now I'm just going to add all my filling. Now that the bag is filled, I'm just going to take a plastic bench scraper and I'm going to push down the content. I'm going to twist it up, and that looks good right there. I have 2 slices of bacon that I've added to a pan. I'm going to cook it till crispy. All right, I chopped the bacon into bacon bits. Now I have about 1/3 of my egg white halves. And then I have some egg wash, flour, and breadcrumbs. I'm just going to take one of the halves, I'm going to toss it in the flour, toss it in the egg wash, and then I'm going to toss it in the breadcrumbs. So now that's all my egg whites breaded. Now I have some frying oil, and then I'm going to bring it to about 350 degrees. Now I'm going to take my eggs and I'm going to lower it into the oil. Now I only want to cook them until they're golden brown. Look how golden and crispy that is. All right, time to plate these eggs. Now I'm just going to put on each of my egg white shells. Next I'm going to add on the fried. All right, now that we have our shells arranged, I'm going to start my first eggs, which is just going to be plain. Pipe, and then pull up. Since these are plain, I'm just going to sprinkle them with the classic paprika. Next we're going to do our fried, so I'm just going to pipe them halfway. And then I have our bacon bits. I'm just adding a good amount of bacon to each one. Then I'm just going to pipe the rest. Then I'm just going to garnish with fresh chive. I'm going to go ahead and pipe these like the ones before. I have a couple of imitation crab sticks. I'm just going to pull it apart just to shred it. And I'm just going to add on the imitation crab. And then we're going to garnish it with some sriracha. And if you're not using the sriracha with the chicken on it, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle that on there. And then a little cilantro to top it all off. Simply delicious.